Hi everyone and welcome to Autism Parents No Filter episode 2. So this topic it might not be as long, but it's gonna be more of getting to know our kids and why sometimes we choose not to go to parties, I guess you could say.
We'll go to any parties or gatherings or anytime any of our friends invite us to go somewhere. Basically we're gonna tell you what's going on behind the scenes and why we choose to kind of make that decision.
And why we choose not to attend, it's not because we really don't want to go, it's just sometimes we choose not to. And it kind of comes double standard because we have a child that does not have autism and he loves to socialize. He's a social butterfly. And we have another kid on the spectrum that kind of takes a little bit longer to socialize and get used to people. And sometimes it becomes overwhelming and sometimes it becomes a toss-up 50-50 chance. So don't ever think that we don't want to be there but as long as you're there and keep inviting families that have children on the spectrum, it's always nice to have that option thrown out there.
So one of the main reasons why
that's one of, like I said, this is no filter. This is our small child, Alex. He only has school 3 days of the week. We're talking to people on the internet. Say hello.
Hello.
So that was our kid, Alex. Since we're talking about getting to know our kids, we'll let you know a little bit about Alex. Alex has a very grown-up personality of his own. He always wants to know why, when, where. He loves his brother very much. He wants to be in everybody's business. He really has an adult personality sometimes.
Welcome to Alex channel.
Oh, it's your Alex channel. As like I said, he has, this is Alexander. He has his own personality.
Very outgoing personality, too.
He is very outgoing. Sometimes he acts like he's shy, but he's not. This kid is my social butterfly. How old did you turn?
5.
You turned 5 years old? So with Albert, it's not so much Alex. And then, so Alex is into everything. He loves Disneyland, Cars, SpongeBob. He's a very outgoing, loving kid, and he shows his love for... Do you love brother? Yeah? Yeah. Well, do you love brother?
Yeah.
Well, stop moving so much. Okay, there you go. So let's talk about brother now. What about Nicholas?
Yeah, but he always hits me and kicks me.
Why does he hit you and kick you?
Because he
But does he love you?
Yeah.
Do you love brother?
Yeah.
Why? Because Nick is what?
Different.
Yeah, he's different, but do we still love him?
Yes. Welcome to Alex channel.
Oh my gosh, let's put stop on that one. Okay, you're back. As you can see, that was Alexander. He's a character in himself. Do you want to add anything about Alex?
He's a very outgoing child. He makes friends with anybody and everybody. And sometimes, as is evident in his birthday party, he is the life of the party.
Yes. As you can see, we try to teach him that brother is different and, to be patient with him. Dinosaur. My other little child is here now. To be patient with him, to teach him that he is different. He still loves him unconditionally, though. He still wants to play and seeks to play with him, with his brother, and helps him whenever he can. He's only 4, just turned 5. We're doing the best we can, but because of what Alex said as regarding brother hits him sometimes, I think this is one of the major aspects why we sometimes don't go to parties when we're invited. Kind of going into that topic now about family parties or any kid party. We do get invited. Sometimes we split. I'll just go and the boys stay home. Or sometimes we'll go. And even when going to family parties, a lot of you can relate. It takes a lot of pre-planning. It takes a lot of,
It's almost like if
I want to say precautions.
well, not only that. Well, yeah, there's a lot of precaution that goes into it, but it's almost like if we have an infant, we have to we take a backpack and we stuff it. We stuff it with snacks. And we stuff it with extra clothes. Of course, that's typical for kids, but we prepare. This is not just taking our 5 and 7-year-old somewhere. We have to think ahead as far as our 7-year-old, and that's Nicholas, because there's a lot of things that kind of go into where we're going and what is he going to be doing.
His routine.
Basically,
We have to premeditate or pre-tell him what we're doing, when we're going, whose house are we going to, and if he doesn't know that person or doesn't know where that place is at, he does get like an anxiety, I guess. He tries to like see every 5 minutes in the car where we're going, and it becomes a situation where I don't know. It's not awkward. What's the word I'm looking for?
Anxious.
Well,
he does get anxious. I mean,
yeah.
Especially if he shows up in a place where he is unfamiliar. He will get anxious a little bit and puts a little bit of pressure on us because that's where it becomes difficult for us, because now we have to be constantly watching him for the reasons that I stated earlier, because he can get a little bit of aggressiveness with people he may not know.
Yeah, especially with people he doesn't know. I mean, it took him like, I want to say 5 years to be comfortable around his own cousins, and that's just recent where he's showing engagement. Just like this past Saturday, he was showing engagement towards playing with his cousin. And even then, he would take breaks from it. So when we go to a new place, or I don't know what he's looking for, to somewhere new, he wants to explore, he wants to engage, he wants to know where he's at. And sometimes that leads us to like, no, sometimes you can't go in that room. You can't, this is not our house.
So the other thing is, we're at familiar places, like our respective parents' house, or, excuse me.
I'll take over. iPad time. Like I said, this is no filter. We can't stop doing what we're doing. I mean, this is basically our daily routine. He's home from school. He wants iPad time. And he had a really good day today, too. But as my husband was saying, to our familiar houses, he has a comfort zone. And sometimes when it's somewhere new, he doesn't have a comfort zone. And what we mean by that, as most of you with families who have a child with disability or on the spectrum, your child always feels comfortable in a certain places where they feel they can escape and take a break. Or they feel like, it's becoming too much to me, I need to go away. And that's what happens with our kids sometimes, especially on the spectrum. He needs that individual space where he needs to take a break from people. And it's not because, he doesn't like the person or anything. It's just it becomes too much.
The surroundings and just
or the noise level.
The stimulation, basically.
Yes.
That's what it comes down to. Just the stimulation is just a little bit too much for him. The other thing is, when he's at our parents' house or whatever, he'll do things that maybe the grandparents will let him get away with. And a lot of times they'll tell us, it's okay. Well, no. Because at the end of the day, we still will end up having to pay for something that he broke that was okay.
Yes.
For instance, at my parents' house, he likes to fool around with the TV. And every now and then my mom will say, it's okay, don't worry about it. Well, yeah, I do worry about it because it's a very damn expensive TV.
You said damn.
No filter. So it's little things like that, despite the fact that it's okay. No, it's not. So if we go to somebody's house and somebody tells us it's okay, it really isn't. Because again, we're the parents and we're the one that's going to be responsible for whatever happens. So that's another thing that we're constantly kind of thinking about. Like, if he goes into somebody's room that he's not supposed to be in there because he's exploring and something just happens to break,
it's our response. Either way,
it's not going to be okay.
He's still our kid. It's still our responsibility, just like any parent would feel it's their responsibility. So for those of you out there, understand when you can't go somewhere, you can't go somewhere. I totally get it. Totally understand. It's not that we don't like to go or attend. And I know for most of us parents who have children on the spectrum, we would love to socialize with you guys. We would love to be there and talk about how your kids are doing and what activities and just interact with that. adult dynamic, but sometimes it becomes difficult and we have to choose. And I think for us it becomes more difficult because we have a child on the spectrum and another child who is not on the spectrum
that wants to socialize.
And he needs that socialization because he's growing up and he needs to make friends and he needs to have that. He needs to have his own personal life, and that's kind of where we discuss where, you know, they each have different individual lives that we have to, like, be respectful on both, and it becomes very difficult on us sometimes, and we don't know what to do. I mean, like I said, autism didn't come with the book of instructions on how to parent. You know, I don't think any parenting came with the book of instructions. You go as you can, you do what you can. We try our best to go to everything as possible, but sometimes it's just we have so much going on during the week where if he's having a bad behavior during that week and he's been having meltdown after meltdown at school, you know, we don't, you know, the weekend we kind of want to take.
Sometimes it's just emotionally draining if we have things like that. And the other issue we have too is, don't forget, once again, and we keep on throwing this out there, and Alex is not on the spectrum. He is, for all intents and purposes, a normal kid. However, he sometimes mimics the behavior of Nicholas.
Yeah.
So
I don't like the normal word. I don't think there is normal.
Okay, there is no normal. Average.
I don't think there is normal. I don't know. I think that's one thing that we all have an argument when they say normal.
Normal. I agree.
I think that vocabulary has been used so much that we're used to saying it, and people say, well, what is normal? I don't think I'm normal. I definitely think you're not normal.
Far from it. but the point that what I'm trying to say is sometimes Alex will mimic his behavior. And so that's kind of double trouble for us during the week. Because sometimes if Nicholas is having a bad day here, for instance, and he starts kicking or whatever, well, wouldn't you know it, Alex will start kicking and hitting. And that could be twofold. It's either trying to get attention or he really truly is just mimicking his
what
behavior.
Brother does.
You know, just as, you know, younger kids do, younger siblings do.
Yeah.
So that's by the end of when Saturday comes around, that there's no school, you know, it's just chill day. We're exhausted.
Yeah, I mean, I was basically crying past week, because Nicholas said a full sentence, and I was just started crying over nothing. I mean, yes, it's a big accomplishment. He's like getting his words out there, but for him to actually like look at me in the face and say, you know, I want this, or can I have this? Like a full-on sentence instead of just one word. It's an emotional roller coaster. So on the weekend, sometimes, you know, we're parents. We like to like just relax at our own home and just like, okay, we're in our own domain. We're gonna do our own thing. But don't stop inviting parents with disabilities to parties, because maybe one day they'll show up. And don't think that they don't want to go, because they probably do. It's just a little difficult. And if you ever want to lend a helping hand, you always have the option, like, you know, is there something I can do for you if you guys are coming? Would you like us to have like, does he like a specific drink? Does he like a specific snack? You know, it's always nice to have that. Don't stop inviting. And for those of you who are out there who are on the spectrum, share your story on a party that you recently went to, and it was either a good experience or a bad experience. It's nice to hear people's points of views and their experiences and what you guys did or how you guys handled it.
With the snacks, I mean, just really quick, it's the little things that really do make a difference.
Yes.
Honestly, a bag of Doritos for Nicholas will go a long way, because for whatever reason, that is his little niche right now, is eating Doritos. If you give him something else, it's not going to fly. And that's the little things that we're talking about. That's the stuff that we have to take when we go somewhere. That's our emergency pack. Doritos, certain type of fruit juice, and that's it. And it's not because he's spoiled, but that's just because...
That's just his sensory issues that he has with certain types of food. I mean, I carried a whole pizza from our pizza place that he loves here all the way to Laughlin, Nevada. So there you go.
Believe me, we tried using the same box with a different pizza.
It doesn't work. He knows his taste.
He knew. Alex, on the other hand, he not so much.
Whatever. But Nick, it's a different story. So
it's those little things, believe it or not.
So keep hearing us out. We'll be episode 3 pretty soon, as I say, the way our schedule handles. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Like I said, share your stories on family parties for those of you who have families on the spectrum. See you guys next time.
Be good out there.